I do hope you reinvigorate friendships here.
Like I said, I'd like to be friends again with Larry. I haven't seen him in ages. And we were friends for a very long time. I met Larry Page before he got funding for Google. Or actually, I guess, before he got venture funding. I think he got the first like 100K from, I think, Bechtel's or someone.
It's wild to think about all that happened. And you guys known each other that whole time. Just 20 years.
Yeah, since maybe 98 or something.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy how much has happened since then.
Yeah, 25 years. A lot has happened. It's insane.
But you're seeing the tension there, like maybe delayed open source.
Yeah. Like, what is the source that is open? You know what I mean? Like, there's basically, it's a giant CSV file.
Yeah.
With a bunch of numbers.
Yep.
What do you do with that giant file of numbers? You know, how do you run? Like, the amount of actual, the lines of code is very small.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the work, the software work, is in the curation of the data. So it's like trying to figure out what data is separating good data from bad data. Like you can't just crawl the internet because there's a lot of junk out there.
Mm-hmm.
A huge percentage of websites have more noise than signal. You know, because they're just used for search engine optimization. They're literally just scam websites. So,
how do you, by the way, sorry to interrupt, get the signal, separate the signal and noise on X? That's such a fascinating source of data. No offense to people posting on X, but sometimes there's a little bit of noise. So
yeah, I think the signal to noise could be greatly improved. I mean, really, all of the posts on the X platform should be AI recommended, meaning like we should populate a vector space around any given post, compare that to the vector space around any user, and match the two.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there is a little bit of AI used for the recommended posts, but it's mostly heuristics. And if there's a reply, where the reply to a post could be much better than the original post, but it will, according to the current rules of the system, get almost no attention compared to a primary post.
Oh, so a lot of that, I got the sense. So a lot of the X algorithm has been open source and been written up about, and it seems that there to be some machine learning. It's disparate, but there's some.
There's a little bit, but it needs to be entirely that. Like at least in the like, if you explicitly follow someone, that's one thing. But if you, in terms of what is recommended from people that you don't follow, that should all be AI.
I mean, it's a fascinating problem.
Yeah.
So there's several aspects of it that's fascinating. First, so as the write-up goes, it first picks 1,500 tweets from a pool of hundreds of millions. First of all, that's fascinating because you have hundreds of millions of posts every single day, and it has to pick 1,500 from which it then does, obviously, people you follow, but then there's also like some kind of clustering it has to do to figure out what kind of human are you, what kind of new clusters might be relevant to you, people like you. This kind of problem is just fascinating because it has to then rank those 1,500 with some filtering, and then recommend you just a handful. And to me, what's really fascinating is how fast it has to do that. So currently, that entire pipeline to go from several hundred million to a handful takes 220 seconds of CPU time, single CPU time.
Yeah.
And then it has to do that in like a second. So it has to be like super distributed in fascinating ways. Like there's just a lot of tweets.
There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff on the system.